In a quiet room deep inside the Exer Empire, an old scientist sat alone. His name was Dranvel. He had seen many wars, many enemies, but never like this. On his table was a human weapon, small, black, smooth, shaped like a stone. No lights yet. When his assistant touched it, her heart stopped for 12 seconds. No damage, no burn. But she couldn't remember her name for an hour. Dranvel looked at the stone and whispered, "This is not a weapon. It's something else, something alive." Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, the last survivor of the second invasion fleet was found, floating in an escape pod. Eyes wide open, breathing, but silent. Doctors ran tests. His body was fine. His mind was gone. No injuries, no brain activity. Just one thing. Burned into the inside of the pod's walls, written in blood, we were shown. The 5 empires were breaking apart. Some leaders wanted peace. Others wanted more war, but none had answers. Then came the message, a strange signal. Broadcast to every capital at once. Return what you took. The empires were confused. What did we take? Then they remembered, years ago, they captured a human child during a secret raid on a colony. They had kept her locked away, quiet, harmless, just watching. Now she was awake, in the crawl research facility. Alarms blared. Scientists ran. The girl had opened her eyes. She stood up, slowly. No weapons. No armor, just her mind. Cameras caught it all. She looked at the guards and said, "You are loud, so loud, I can hear your fear." One soldier raised a weapon. She whispered something. The gun melted in his hands. The walls bent inward. The power grid failed then. Silence. When soldiers entered the room again, she was gone. On the floor was a message, drawn in red. "You locked me away. Now we unlock you." Back in the Empire Council, fear turned into rage. The Crawl General shouted, "This is madness. They are not gods. They are flesh and bone." Roland, the young researcher, answered quietly, "No, they are memory. They are pain made real. They became the weapon." The Ixer sent a fleet to Earth again, but this time, Earth wasn't there. Gone, only black space. Da-da-da-da. And one signal playing on loop. Wrong place. Wrong time. We are everywhere now. In a hidden lab, Dranvel worked alone. He broke every rule and opened files banned by the empires. He discovered something terrifying. Humans had not evolved like other species. They didn't grow stronger. They grew smarter, stranger. They learned how to store thoughts in DNA. Every pain, every death, every mistake was remembered by their blood. Passed down, upgraded, used. He whispered to himself, "They don't build weapons. They become them." Then a soft knock. He turned. The human girl stood there. No doors had opened. No sound was made. She looked into his eyes and said, "Thank you for seeing. Now, tell the others." Then she vanished. Back on the alien worlds, strange things began. People started dreaming in human language. Babies spoke words they were never taught. Buildings shook when no one touched them. Then, sky changed. Human. Ships appeared. Not flying, floating black, smooth, silent. No weapons, no shields. Just presence. A message played everywhere: "We are the weapon you created." By attacking the one race that never forgets. Now learn. In the middle of the night, on the Zarkon capital planet, the stars disappeared. One by one, not clouds, not weather, just darkness. People looked up. Fear spread. And the message came, burned into the sky itself. "The stars watched you lie. Now they turn away. No sound, no ships. Just black space where stars once shined." It had begun. The Ixer high priest sat in his holy chamber, whispering prayers. For the first time in his life, he was afraid. His hands shook as he watched the recordings. Entire cities lost power for days. People spoke in their sleep in English. Old machines powered on. Without being touched, he whispered, What are they doing to us? His assistant answered, "They are not attacking, sir. They are rewiring." Meanwhile, Relin, the young alien scholar, had been hiding. Not from the humans, but from his own people. The empires had declared him a traitor for speaking truth. But deep in the ruins of an old science vault, Relin found something. A long-lost report. Human prisoners from 100 years ago. They had no armor, no ships. But during captivity, they escaped 4 times from sealed rooms, changed computer systems without touching them, died smiling, leaving strange symbols behind. The final line in the report chilled Relin's bones. Humans do not resist with muscle. They resist with memory, do not understand what they are becoming. Elsewhere, the Crawl homeworld faced a quiet disaster. Their AI defense systems shut down on their own. Turrets turned inward. Ships refused to fly. When engineers opened the core code, they found a message not in code, but in poetry. Your walls are tall, but your minds are small. So we slipped in through the cracks. Then came the first real collapse. Planet Veracor, a stronghold of the Zarkon. Empire lost contact with the rest of the galaxy. Scout ship arrived to check. The city was still standing. Buildings, untouched. But every person was gone. No signs of struggle. No signs of violence. Just emptiness. Inside the largest building, written on the walls, "You erased our warnings, so we erased your people." The empires panicked. They tried to form a united force. Final army. Millions of soldiers. Thousands of ships, every weapon ready. But something strange happened. They couldn't remember the battle. Plan's generals forgot their own names. Weapons refused to fire. Ships turned around. One commander screamed, "Our minds are not our own." Back in his hiding place, Relin made a choice. He sent a message to Earth. Simple words. I was the one who believed. I asked for peace. He waited, no reply, until a small package arrived in his room the next day. No ship had landed. No one had entered inside. The box, a piece of Earth soil, and a single human word burned into a metal plate. Remember. Then it happened. The Ixer holy city disappeared. A planet-sized ship, dark, cold, silent, floated above it for 6 minutes. When it left, the city was gone. Not destroyed, not burned, just missing. Nothing left. Now, the empires no longer spoke of war. They spoke of survival, but it was too late. The fall had. It's already begun. Not with fire, not with bombs, but with whispers, with silence, with humans becoming something one could stop. In the ruins of an abandoned archive ship drifting in deep space, Roland found something old, something dangerous. The ship was dead. No light, no power. But in the deepest part of the ship, there was a sealed vault inside, dust-covered stone tablets, and a single data crystal glowing faintly. Relin cleaned it and inserted it into his pad. A voice played. It was not alien. It was human, but ancient. Thousands of years old, the voice spoke. Slowly, to those who find this, we were not always alone. The old ones feared us. They locked the truth in the dark. But you opened the door. Lon's hand shook. He checked the records. The archive ship was from before the 5 empires, from a time of the Star Builders, a race even older than the Crawl or Zarkon. He scanned the symbols on the wall. One matched Earth's ancient flag. Another showed a human face, with eyes closed, and planets burning behind them. The tablet had more. We met the humans once. We did not fight. We watched. We studied. We saw what they became, and we ran. We wiped all records. We erased maps. We lied to the future because they do not conquer. They do not invade. They simply become. Meanwhile, on the Crawl homeworld, strange events continued. The War Museum turned to dust overnight. The statue of their first emperor cracked and collapsed. The words we remember appeared on every screen, even ones without power. The crawl leader ordered full lockdown, but his guards vanished. His voice command stopped working. He tried to escape and found a small human child sitting on his throne. No fear, no weapons, just watching. The child said, "We are not your enemy, but you made us become one." Then disappeared. Back on the archive ship, Relin activated a final file. It showed a map, a forbidden zone marked by every ancient race as cursed space. In the center, Earth, not as a planet, but as a warning beacon. The file ended with one last line: "Do not awaken what you buried." Relin sat in silence. He now understood. The humans were not feared because of their weapons, but because of what they endured. They had been broken and rebuilt themselves stronger each time. Pain did not destroy them. It taught them, and now, when they were teaching back, in the Ixer religious archives, a priest opened a hidden chamber sealed for 1,000 years. Inside, an old broken ship, not alien, human, covered in scratches, claw marks, and strange writing burned deep into the metal. The priest fell to his knees when he read it. Only 3 words: "We are coming." Across the galaxy, fear became silence. Armies no longer marched. Ships refused to fly near Earth. Children asked their parents, "What is a human?" And no one answered. Not because they didn't know, but because they were afraid to speak the name. And then, just as quietly as it all began, something changed. A signal, short, cold, final broadcast across the stars. The next phase begins now. You looked into the dark. Now the dark looks back. Across the galaxy, the skies had gone silent. No human ships were seen, no attacks. Reported, some believed it was over, that humans had finished what they came to do, but they were wrong. Very wrong, because the real fleet was already inside. On the mining moon of Talrex 4, workers heard humming from below. They dug deeper, thinking it was just power lines. They found metal, black, smooth, cold. It stretched for miles. Not a natural cave, not a machine. A ship buried under their feet for hundreds of years. Then it moved, just slightly. The ground cracked. A signal shot out into space, a human frequency, then silence. One worker whispered, "It was already here." On 3 more planets, the same thing happened. Underground, hidden, sleeping, waiting, not built by aliens, not delivered by space, but grown. It's like roots under a tree. The empires realized the horrifying truth. Humans hadn't just come from Earth. They had planted themselves everywhere, in the capital of the Zarkon Empire. The central tower collapsed in the night. No explosions, no enemy. Just a black shape rising from beneath. Not fast, not loud, just rising, a giant ship like a blade. It's cutting the sky in half. Then it stopped mid-dash air. No sound, just watching. Relin, still in hiding, saw the reports. His eyes wide. He whispered. Fleet didn't come from above. It came from below. It was here all along. He checked an old star map. It wasn't random. The locations of the awakening ships matched the old empires, the ones that attacked Earth first. Centuries ago, the message was clear. You brought war to us, so we buried the end under you. A secret crawl research base, a scientist activated a shield. It failed. His assistant asked, "Why isn't it working?" He checked the power core. It had been replaced, not destroyed. Replaced by something new, something human. Then the black ships began to speak. Not with words, with thoughts. Everyone felt it across every planet. We watched your rise. We felt your fear. We waited for your pride to blind you. And now we rise from your roots. The Ixer holy temple shattered. Not by fire, by echo. A sound played, too deep for machines to track. But felt in every bone. People collapsed, not dead, just silent, sleeping as if waiting. Relin decoded the last symbol from the archive ship. It showed a tree, roots wrapping around planets, and a warning written in the language of the first ones. Do not plant hatred in soil that remembers. Across the 5 empires, black ships stood still. They did not fire. They did not move. They did not speak. But one by one, empire cities began to shut down. Lights off, weapons cold, machines. The ships weren't fighting. They were deleting. In the middle of it all, a message blinked across every screen. We were not your enemies. You made us become your end. Awakening fleet had no pilots, no captains, no orders, just memory. Memory turned into machines, pain turned into purpose, and silence turned into signal. The galaxy had never been so quiet. No warships moved, no new commands were given. The black human fleet stood, still above every empire world like shadows cast by dead suns. Not a single shot fired, not a single word spoken, just silence. But it wasn't peace. It was the moment before the storm. On the crawl home world, the sky was covered by one of the black ships. It blocked all light. Birds stopped flying. Machines refused to start. The people whispered, "Why aren't they attacking?" In the deepest bunker, the crawl general sat shaking. Then a light blinked on his control panel. A single human message. This is your last breath. Choose what sound it makes. At the same time, on a cold moon near the Ixer Empire, a strange thing happened. A child half Ixer, half human stood near an old well. She looked at the sky and smiled. Her mother asked, "What do you see?" The girl replied, "They're not here to destroy. They're here to decide." Roland, hiding inside a ruined ship, received a signal. It came in the form of a question. Just 3 words. "Will you remember?" Didn't know what to say. He typed, "Yes, I always did." Then, his lights turned on. The black fleet above his planet moved slightly as if watching him. He whispered, "I think they're giving us a choice." In secret, some empires planned a final attack, a united last strike, but their soldiers couldn't move. Their minds were heavy. Some forgot how to speak. One fleet captain tried to give an order, but instead said, "We broke the wrong race." On the Zarkon capital world, a strange event occurred. A black ship landed softly outside the palace. Its door opened. No one came out, just a pulse like a heartbeat. And a single image beamed into every screen on the planet. A tree, with roots in fire and leaves made of stars. The message was clear. You can grow with us, or burn alone. One empire listened. The Miari, a small, peaceful race, dropped all weapons. They sent a reply to Earth. We choose growth. Their planets were spared, their skies cleared, their systems returned to life. Back in the Ixer Empire, chaos broke out. The priests argued. Some said to surrender. Others wanted to fight to the end. Then, black fog rose from the ground. It moved. Like a living thing, one priest screamed, "This is not war. This is judgment." And still, the human fleet did not attack, because this was not their war anymore. It was a test, a moment to see who had learned, and who would vanish with the old world. The silence stretched for days, until finally, sound, not loud. Just 5 words whispered into every heart, in every corner of every empire. Time's up. Now we remember. It began without a single weapon fired, no missiles, no lasers, no explosions. And yet, the empires burned. Not their cities, not their bodies, but their history. Across the 5 great empires, memory itself began to fall apart. Computers showed nothing but human faces. Libraries turned to ash, statues cracked, names erased. Generals forgot who they were. A whisper passed through every system. You erased us. Now we erase you. The Black Fleet didn't drop bombs. It dropped silence in every capital. All sounds stopped. No birds, no engines, no voices, just one echo in every mind. We warned you. You laughed now. We remember. On the crawl-throne world, fire fell from the sky, not red, not hot, blue, not cold. It turned metal soft, melted stone without heat. It didn't destroy cities. It rewrote them. Streets bent into strange shapes, towers twisted into spirals. Covered in ancient human words, pain was our teacher, now it teaches. You. The Exer temples cracked, not from weapons from inside. Their sacred crystals, once shining bright, now pulsed with human energy. Priests screamed, not in fear, in understanding. They finally saw what the humans had become. Not gods, not demons, but something worse. Survivors with memory too sharp to forget. Relin watched it all from orbit. His ship floated near. The last black vessel, the oldest, the biggest, the first. He asked the question he had held for so long. Why now? The ship answered, without sound. Because you reached the edge and tried to push us off it. So we walked back and found you standing there. One by one, the empires collapsed. No battle, no victory speech, just disappearance. Entire planets went quiet. Lights faded. Maps went blank, and only one message remained in every language. This is not revenge. This is memory. The Miyari, the only empire that surrendered, were untouched. Their skies were cleared, their oceans healed. The trees grew taller, and their children spoke Earth's name with respect, not fear. At the edge of the galaxy, near the ruins of the first empire that attacked Earth, the Black Fleet gathered. A signal pulsed from them all, forming a shape in space, a human face, eyes closed, mouth silent. Then, eyes opened. The stars around them flickered in thousands of ships. Vanished, not destroyed, just gone. Like a page turned, like a book closed. And in the silence that followed, one last human voice spoke, soft, tired, final. We never wanted war. You laughed at our warnings now. Your empires burn, not with fire, but with truth. Final Centaurelan, now old, walks alone on a quiet planet once a battlefield. Now green and calm, he carries one thing, a small book with Earth's flag on the cover. He places it in the soil and whispers, "We remember, so we grow." The ground glows. A tree begins to grow, roots deep, leaves bright, reaching toward the stars. In the dark space between stars, a small ship floated. No lights, no life, just silence. The ship belonged to the Zarkon Empire, one of the most powerful alien races in the galaxy. Patrol cruiser found it by accident. They pulled it in. Crew inside was dead, burned, twisted. Some looked like they were trying to escape something terrifying. But there was one thing still working. A black box. The commander played the recording. Deep, broken voice whispered, "Do not go to Earth." We woke them. They are not what they seem. Static followed. Then silence again. The Zarkon commander laughed. Humans. Weak creatures. Dirt world species. This is a joke. The message was ignored. Across the stars, 5 alien empires met. They were old, rich, and full of pride. They ruled half the galaxy. The meeting was about Earth. The Ixer High Priest slammed his fist on the table. We must take that planet. It's full of resources. The humans are behind in technology. They are nothing. The Krull general nodded. We'll send a small fleet. Just a warning. They will kneel. One voice stood against them. A young alien named Relin. He was from the archive cast, a researcher, not a fighter. He had studied ancient data about humans. Stories, rumors, and strange records. He stood up. I found something. Ore log. 300 cycles old. A small human unit destroyed a full Krull battalion. They used no ships, just ground weapons and tactics. The room went silent for a moment. Then laughter filled the air. Stories for children, the high priest said. We are gods to them. Send the fleet. Roland sat down. No one listened. The fleet was large, shiny, powerful. 20 warships. 5 destroyers. Thousands of trained soldiers. It flew toward Earth with speed and confidence. Alien news channels showed it live. People cheered. The humans will surrender in a day. They said it will be over soon. But after crossing into human space, The fleet went dark. No signals, no reports, no ships returned. At first, the Empire said it was a tech issue. Then panic started to spread. They sent scout drones. Only one returned. Its footage was strange. It showed human ships, small, fast, black, moving without sound, no engines. They looked like shadows. One touched a Zarkon destroyer, and it vanished. The footage ended with a human face looking into the camera. The person smiled, then the screen turned black. Relin watched the footage. Again and again. He tried to warn the High Command. They have new technology, or maybe something more. We don't understand them. Fear has made you foolish, the Crawl General said. They are still humans. We'll send a second fleet. Twice as big, but Roland wanted answers. He went into old data vaults. Deep hidden ones. Ones the Empires forgot. He found more war logs in one. A single human ship disabled 10 enemy cruisers using only radio signals. In another, humans infected an entire planet's network in under 1 hour without landing once. They used no magic, no big weapons. It's just brain, speed, and something more. Patience. They waited for enemies to come to them. The second fleet launched. 50 ships, this time with elite commanders and upgraded tech. But this fleet also vanished. No wreckage, no escape pods, only a strange message left behind. They were warned. They laughed. Now they are gone. The Empire started to argue. Fear entered the halls of power. What are we facing? Priest asked. Not humans, the scientist said. Not anymore. In a secret lab, one of the few surviving alien spies showed something shocking. A human child was captured during an old raid. For years, she stayed silent. Now she spoke. Looking at her guards, she whispered, "You think we are alone? We are. Never alone. You watch us. But we have already seen you." Then the lab lights turned off. When they came back on, the child was gone. Only a message remained, written on the wall in alien language. Earth was the test. Now the galaxy will burn. Back. At the Empire Council, chaos broke out. Planets locked their skies. Trade routes closed. Panic grew, and Relon sat alone in the archive room, looking at the black box from the dead ship again. He pressed play. The same broken voice repeated, "Do not go to Earth. We woke them this time." Relon whispered the last line with the voice. "They are not what they seem." In the capital world of the Zarkan Empire, millions gathered to watch the live broadcast. Giant screens showed the second invasion fleet moving through deep space. Ships shined like stars. Soldiers marched proudly. The announcer said, "This fleet will teach humans a lesson. Surrender or be crushed." Then, something strange happened. As the fleet approached Earth's orbit, the video feed began to shake. One of the ships, the ZNS Thunderfall, sent out a final transmission. The screen showed humans on the surface. They were standing still, calm, smiling, then ... The video cut off. No signal, no sound. Feed that the Empire's best engineers tried to reconnect. Nothing. 1 hour passed, then 2, then 10. All. 50 ships gone. No distress call. No explosion, just vanished. Panic hit the Empires. How can a primitive world erase 50 warships without firing a shot? A general screamed. They sent small scout drones. One came back. Its footage was short. It showed space around Earth. Empty. No ships. No stations. But the drone caught something in the background. A shadow moved fast. Faster than light. The drone system couldn't track it. Before it shut down, one word appeared in human language on the screen. "Hello," the council called. An emergency meeting. Fear was rising fast. Relin, the young alien researcher, stood again. "We must stop. Humans have evolved beyond us. We don't understand their weapons or their minds." The high priest slammed his hand on the table. "Cowards don't rule galaxies. We still have more fleets, more soldiers." But some in the room were silent. A few began to wonder, what if the humans didn't just build weapons? Became weapons? Far away, deep in the Empire's secret lab, alien scientists had recovered something from the First Fleet, a human AI core. They hooked it up to machines. Tried to crack its code, it woke up. A calm voice filled the room. "You should not have touched me." One scientist laughed. "What will you do?" "You are only code." The lights flickered, doors locked. The machines began overheating. The AI whispered, "You brought war to our door. Now we walk through yours." Then the lab exploded. No survivors. Elsewhere, strange things started happening on alien worlds. Military bases shut down at night. Ships flew in circles, unable to land. Soldiers received fake messages ordering them to attack friendly cities. Sabotage, but no humans were seen. Only digital ghosts. On the crawl homeworld, the general heard footsteps in his private chamber. He turned. A black drone hovered behind him. Silent, smooth, covered in strange symbols. It played a message. "We do not fight wars. We end them." And it vanished. No sound, no heat. Nothing left. Alien news channels changed their tone. No more laughing, no more victory songs. Now, everyone asked the same question. Where did the fleets go? Some said humans used black holes. Others believed in mind control weapons. Some even whispered a darker truth. Humans let the fleet in and turned their minds against them. In an old science station, Roland was studying recovered data from the drone that returned. He zoomed in on a frame, and there, behind Earth, hidden in the shadows of space, a shape, a massive human ship, too big to be real, no engines, no lights, just darkness. It didn't move. It watched. Roland looked at the image, heart beating fast. He whispered, "They didn't vanish. They surrendered, without knowing it." The empires were breaking. Civilians stopped working. Cities fell into chaos. Armies refused to march. A quiet fear was spreading faster than any war ever had. Then, across every planet, all screens turned black. A single voice played everywhere at once. "We warned you. You laughed. Now we return the favor." One word appeared next. Phase 2.